Hello, everybody. Welcome to English Phonetics. Today is day 9. And day 9, we're moving along. After today, we have day 10, day 11, and day 12, test. So we only have 9, 10, 11, and then the test. All right. I hope you'll work hard today on your pronunciation and that you will improve. Let's study. First of all, we're going to review the L and the R, which we studied last week. Did you work on your L and R? All right, first of all, remember how to make the L and the R. The L is easy, super easy. Take your tongue, put your tongue to the position of the T. But with the T, you block all the air, you stop all the air and okay? But with the L, you do this. And you touch the T place, but you let the air go around the tongue, both sides. I like this. Now, Japanese struggle because they want to put their tongue a little higher. Japanese L, Japanese R, the tongue is higher. Like here's the alveolar ridge. The L is here, but the Japanese R is here. And Japanese want to go d, d. But L, the tongue touches at the T position. And it does not go d. It goes la, la. It's an easy release. La, la. Okay. Now the R is more difficult, but you can get it. I told you how to do it last week. We studied, I showed you pictures. The tongue goes high and back. Okay, here's the L, the alveolar ridge here. And the tongue goes higher, right here with the hard palate, okay? And it doesn't touch. Now the tongue touches here and touches here. It touches on the side and the side, but right here it doesn't touch, okay? And the tongue goes high and the air goes over the tongue, over the, okay? Now you have to make your mouth little. If you don't, it's so that the lips are important for the R sound. Now we have the and the Now let's try some words. Can you say ray? Ray. Try it at home. Ray. Okay, now say lay. 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 Ray. Okay, let's get this here and let's try it. All right. Please repeat with me. Ready? Here we go. Ray. Right. Now say them faster. Ray. Right. Now don't say the Japanese R. De. Dai. Okay. Ray. Right. Now next we have very. Very. Now be careful. Don't say Betty. 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 Okay. I am Betty Betty happy. We don't say Betty Betty. We say very. 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 Say that faster. Very. Very. Good. Okay. Very. Carry. Car. Now that is a moving sound. R. R. It's not ka. It's car. Can you see my mouth moving? Okay. And then the next word is W-A-R, war. Now that is an A, but we don't pronounce A. We pronounce it like an O, an open O. O. War. War. Okay, let's continue. War. Cry. Pray. Now that's KR and PR. And the next one, tree. Okay, those sounds you have to say, okay, the pray. Everyone say, hold it. Now hold the tongue position and close your mouth. Pray, pray. That's it. Pray. Okay. Now the cry, we say the Now hold it. Hold it. The is right here. And then go up here with the cry. Try that. Cry. Now don't say could I. It's not could I. Cry. Cry. It's cry. Okay. All right. Next we have tree. Okay. Next we have brown. Brown. Okay. Next we have green. Green. Okay. Did you do well? Now let's do the next one. We've got the L. L. Remember you have your L. Okay. Let's try it. Lie. Please repeat. Lie. Land. Balloon. Now say it fast. Balloon. Pilot. Call. Now that's call. It's a moving sound. Call. Oh. And remember there's a o in the throat. Call. Okay. Play. You gotta go and hold your tongue. Play. Play. Can you get that? Okay. Next, we have It's the same. Make it L, and hold it. Bull, black, black. And then the clean is the same. Clean. And glad. Okay. For glad, you make your and your g at the same time. Okay. The and the g, you go go. Okay. There's the L and the G, and it's glad. Can you understand that? All right. Glad. All right. There you go. Glad. That's it. Did you practice well? Now, I want you to say it really fast. Please repeat with me really fast, but try to make it gentle, L. Lie, land, balloon, pilot, call, play, black, clean, glad. Very good. Now, please repeat this story, and I want you to be really careful with your L's and your R's. Please, careful. Please repeat every word after me. I'll say each word, and then we'll do it sentence by sentence. Ready? Mel called his mother. I require a balloon so I can play. Her answer was, you clean your room and I'll be glad to purchase a balloon for your play. Okay, now let's do it sentence by sentence. Repeat after me. Mel called his mother. I require a balloon so I can play. Her answer was, you clean your room, and I'll be glad to purchase a balloon for your play. All right, did you do well on that practice? I hope so. Keep improving your L's and your R's. All right, now we're going to do another review. We're going to review the short U and long U sound. Remember, the long U sound is oo or U, and the short U sound is Now the is the schwa. All right, here we can see short U is schwa. That's Now remember, the is like ah, but it's ah. Relax. Notice my jaw. Okay, there you go. Now, the oo is long. Ooh. All right, let's try it. Here we have short U. We have the short word. So it's cut. Please repeat. Cut. Cute. Now, this is a long word, but it's a stressed U. And a stressed vowel is going to be short. Mutton. So this is actually schwa, schwa, mutton. And this is salute. Now this is also stressed, but because of the E in the end, it becomes oo. Salute. Salute means this. See my picture? That's a salute. All right. Punish, that's batsu. Punish. Punish. Now, some of you are saying your sound too much like oo, and it sounds like, okay, oo. You're saying punish, but it's not. Your tongue is too high. Punish, punish. Good. There you go. Punish. And fusion. Now, anytime you have an I-O-N, S-I-O-N, or a T-I-O-N, it's going to be jeune, jeune, fusion. Now, we're not going to study the j very much, but let me tell you that j is like sh, shh, but you put voice, j. Comes from the French. The English took it from the French. Do you know the French word for love? Je t'aime. Oh, it's shh, sh, sh. Okay, so it's fusion. Fusion means to put two things together. Fuse, fusion. And notice that this is and many of you have a habit of saying on, fusion, action, vision, but it's not on, it's vision. Okay, here it is, fusion, solution. Okay, now this one is, there's an E here, but I'm sorry, it breaks the rule. It's fudge, fudge. That's a chocolate. Fudge is a chocolate candy. Few, hut, hoot, hut, hoot. Okay, that's the O and the U sound. Now, you tell me, is it short U, or long U, oo? What is it? Okay, it's mud, mud. What about this one? It's oo, lewd, lewd. It's a bad word. And this one? Okay, it has the E on the end, so it's long. Ooh, huge, huge. And this one? Okay, it's one vowel, stressed, no E on the end, so it's going to be hush. Hush means shh, hush. What's this one? Ooh, food. And this one? Okay, this is a long number. It's long, but there's a stress on this, so it's going to be short. Number. Very good. All right, now please repeat with me. Mr. Lug, that's short, Mr. Lug rescued my blue drum. Okay? Ooh, ooh, Can you say that with me? Mr. Lug rescued my blue drum. The next one. I put a few nuts in the huge hut. Now this is It's not ooh and it's not It's uh, ooh. That's actually you, Okay, here it is. Ready? I put a few nuts in the huge hut. All right, here it is. Mr. Lug rescued my blue drum. I put a few nuts in the huge hut. Okay, you doing okay on that? Now here's another one. Oh, I put the answers. John alluded that too much pollution will shut down the fuel company. Say it again. John alluded means said. John alluded that too much pollution will shut down the fuel company. All right, that's the end there. Now I'm going to talk about S, Z, SH, and EJ, okay? S. Every language has it, and I'm sure you have no trouble saying it. And then Z, Z is like a Z sound. Now, Japanese sometimes make a mistake. They pronounce it DZ, Z, Z, Z. But it's not DZ, Z. It's just Z, okay, with no D. Z. So you have to always be careful. For example, the word zoo. My students often say DZO, zoo, zoo, okay? But it's zoo. Okay. Now, the other problem with S is that Japanese, before the E sound, in Japanese, it's sa, shi, su, says so. Sashi says so. Sashi. And so Japanese have to be careful. Don't say she. There is a she that means kanojo, but there is a si with no sh, and that means miru, see, or umi, see. So you have to be very careful. And today we're going to do a tongue twister called she sells seashells, and we're going to practice that. Okay, but let's look now at the SH and the S and the differences between those. All right, here we have, remember this means SH, shh, and this is s, okay? And I want you to listen to SH in different contexts. Please listen. Shed, shame. Now the S, said, same. So it's shh on the left, shh. The right, s, sh, s, sh, s, shed, said, shame, same. Shop, I mean, this is not shop, it's shop, sop. Shoot, suit, sh, s, sh, s. She, see. Now be careful with pronunciation. She, see. She, see. Shield, sealed. Sheep, seat. Sheet, seat. Now in Japanese, you say shitsu on the bed, beddo no shitsu. But in English, if you put an S, it means two. If you put one, it's sheet, sheet, seat. Sheer, sear. Okay, let's go down here. Now, I want you to look at this SHR. Shred, To shred means to cut into little pieces. Like if you take cheese and go to the cheese and you get many pieces of cheese, that's shred, okay? Now you have your and you go like that. Shred, shred, shred. And then the word shrink means chijimu. Shrink, shrink. Can you say that? Okay. Washer, washer, sure. Masher, masher. Now here, many people make a mistake with this ed. Many of my students will say wash, washed, but it's not washed, it's washed. Can you say that? Washed. And here we have mashed and dished. Now here we have watched. And again, many people, many students put an E right there, watched, but it's wrong. Don't put it, it's watched. And here matched. And here ditched. Ditched means steta. To ditch something is stetter. Okay, let's repeat it again. Washed, watched, mashed, matched, dished, ditched. Okay, now I want you to listen and you tell me, is it A or B? Okay, everybody stop the video, get a piece of paper, and I want you to write 1 to 18 on your paper, okay? This is practice. Come on, take part, be active. Write 1 to 18 on a paper. Stop the video. Okay, now I'm going to read these words to you, and I'm going to tell you the answers after you write down. You write down either A or B. Okay, I'm going to read the word, and you write A or B. Number 1, shed. Number 2. Okay, I'll read it twice. Number 1, shed, shed. Number 2, said, said. Okay, let's check those answers. Number 1 was A. Number 2 was B. Are you writing it down and trying? Okay. Number 3, shame, shame. Number 4, same, same. Number 5, sop, sop. Number 6, shop, shop. Number 7, shoot, shoot. Number 8, suit, suit. Number 9, see, see. Number 10, she, she. Number 11, sealed, sealed. Number 12, shield, shield. Number 13, seep, seep. Number 14, sheep, sheep. Number 15, sheet, sheet. Number 16, seat, seat. Number 17, sear, sear. Number 18, shear, shear. Okay, I'm going to tell you the answers. A, B, A, B. Okay, A is SH, B is S. Okay, number 1, A. Number 2, B. Number 3, A. Number 4, B. Number 5, B. Number 6, A. 7, A. 8, B. 9, A. 10, B. 11, B. 12, A. 13, B. 14, A. 15, A. 16, B. 17, B. 18, A. Okay, if that was difficult, I won't do it again, but if it's difficult, rewind the video and watch that part again, okay? And make sure you can do that. Okay, that's the SH sound. Now we are going to do a fun tongue twister. Tongue twister is something you say very fast, like Peter Piper picked a pick up peppers. If Peter Piper picked a pick up peppers, where's a pick up peppers? Peter Piper picked. Okay, you got to say it really fast. It's really difficult. And we're going to practice Sally Shell Seashores. Oh, I can't say it. I'll say it quickly in a minute. We're going to practice it, and I'm going to teach it to you. Okay, this is the tongue twister. It says this. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells on the seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashore shells. I'll tell you about this and the meaning. Now, these are sea shells. They're shells from the sea. And this is seashore. The shore is the side, the coast, the beach, and the rocks. Seashore. Now, Mary Anning lived in 1799 to 1847, quite a long time ago. Mary's father, when she was a child, he used to climb the cliffs looking for fossils to sell tourists. Now, cliffs means the mountain has been cut and there's a flat part of the mountain. Fossils means old animal remains, when the animals turn into rocks. And he was looking for pieces, bones, and fish-looking rocks to sell to the tourists. Mary helped her father to sell his fossils. She would sit with a box and sell them. That was the family business. One day, her father had an accident while digging for fossils. He fell off of a cliff, that big cliff that we saw. He fell way down. He lived, but he had much pain, and he died 3 years later. He never was the same after that accident. Years later, Mary found a fossil. That's a stone that was made from an animal. A tourist saw her fossil and offered to pay a lot of money for it. Mary was shocked and sold him the fossil. Ha, Mary has a job now. She's a businesswoman. After that, Mary began doing the same dangerous work that her father had done. She climbed the cliffs, digging and looking for pieces of fossils near the ocean. And she would collect them and sell them. And people in this time, it became very popular to make big collections of fossils and arrowheads and different things. And it was a thing tourists like to do. So she made a lot of money. She's a very business woman. Okay. Now, one day, Mary's brother, he was an adult and Mary was an adult. They found a strange head. Mary decided to dig and search for all the bones for this creature. Actually, Mary hired some friends. She paid them money to help her dig and find all the bones. And she found all the bones, and she found this animal. It was a great find in science to find this bone. Mary Anning showed these fossils and many other fossils to scientists, and they became very important for the science of dinosaurs. That's true, Mary Anning. In 1847, Mary Anning died. When she died, a friend wrote this about her. You know, when people die, we want to say something nice. So she wrote a poem. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells on the seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashore shells. Okay, this is the tongue twister. Okay, I want you to practice this today. And after you practice it, I want you to make a video of yourself. I want your face. And I want you to say this as fast as you can twice. But notice that there are a lot of R's and L's on this video. There's also the she and the C. You can't say she shells. You have to say she sells. And you can't say she-shore. It's not she-shore, it's seashore. So you have to be careful of your C and your she. And you have to be careful of your L and your R. Sells seashells by the seashore. So I want you to practice your R and your L and your C and your she by saying this. And I want you to say this many times quickly. I want you to, on the video, read everything twice. And that's all. And send it to me. Send it to me. I want to see that you're practicing. She sells seashells by the seashore. Now, it's a good thing to do the first line many times. She sells seashells. She sells seashells. She sells. She sells. She sells. She sells seashells. 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 She sells seashells. She sells seashells. And you build like that. She sells seashells by. She sells seashells by the. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. And keep repeating that. The shells she sells, the shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells on the seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashore shells. I want you to say that as fast as you can, twice, but I'm going to check your R and your L and your she and your C. And I want to see if you can do a really good job. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells on the seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashore shells. Can you say it that fast? I want you to say it really fast twice. And I'm going to time you and see how well you do and if you do your R and your L well. Okay, that's a good practice. It's very important for today's lesson. Okay, now I'm going to teach you something about de-emphasizing words. And this has to do with the intonation. Let me read this to you. When speaking English, we say the important words very loudly. You've studied intonation rules for English, but another way to think about it is to say that we de-emphasize words that are not important. That means we say unimportant words quickly and with low intonation. Words like I, he, she, is, are, to, the, and a are not important, so we say them quickly. Listen to these sentences. When I was 14, when I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the Army. I have perfect pronunciation, but my intonation is terrible. Now, my Japanese students will often emphasize I. I was 14 years old. I decided I wanted to join the Army, but that is absolutely wrong. In Japanese, do you say, watashi wa, boku wa, ore wa? No, you don't. You don't even say it. You just say, Tokyo ni ikuyo. You don't say, watashi wa Tokyo ni ikuyo. Okay, and it's the same in English. We don't say, I was 14 years old. I is not important. So we're going to put it way down. Now notice this. We're going to say it like this. When I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the Army. Now notice this word is little because it's fast and it's low. When I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the Army. Now that's completely opposite. Some of you are saying, when I was 14 years old, and we don't do that. When I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the Army. Now I'll say it fast. When I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the Army. Can you hear that? I thought it would be so cool to fight the enemy. Okay, here it is. I thought it'd be so cool to fight the enemy. Now notice the word I, it'd be, to, and the is very low. It's like, I thought it'd be so cool to fight the enemy. Okay, it's really like that. Okay, listen. I thought it'd be so cool to fight the enemy. The enemy. I thought it'd be so cool to fight the enemy. Okay, now listen to Danny's story. When I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the Army. I thought it'd be so cool to fight the enemy. I was sure I'd be very careful and not be killed. I chose the Army because I had seen a lot of movies about war and I thought the soldiers were cool. But when I was 14 years old, I was in church and I listened to a man talk about God. The man was the leader of a church, which means he was a pastor. He told us about his experiences as a pastor. As he talked, my heart burned inside. I felt such a desire, even a need, to become a pastor of a church. I felt that God put this desire in my heart. At the end of his talk, he said to the audience, "Are you willing to become a church pastor? If so, please come to the front of the church and pray for a few minutes. Tell God you are willing to do this." I was so moved in my heart that I moved quickly to the front and spent time in prayer. When I finished, I knew that God wanted me to become a Christian pastor. I quit my plans to be a soldier. I told all my friends, "I'm not going into the army. I will become a pastor." My life began to change greatly at that point. Okay. Now I want you to repeat these sentences after Danny. Try to say the words I and he very softly and quickly. Are you ready? Please repeat after me. When I was 14 years old, okay, repeat again. When I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to join the army. Again, I decided I wanted to join the army. Okay, next. I thought it'd be so cool to fight the enemy. I was sure I'd be very careful and not be killed. I chose the army because I'd seen a lot of movies about war. And I thought the soldiers were cool. But when I was 14 years old, I listened to a man talk about God. Okay, that is how we do this. And so when you tell stories, don't say I, he, or thee very loud. Say those little words very gentle and soft and fast. Okay. All right, now we're going to our story part of our lesson. And the story is where you listen and you try to hear the things that we've been studying and practice a little bit. And so I'm going to read another story. Last week I read about Mark Buntain, a missionary to India. I'm going to read about how Mark Buntain began his life in India. Okay, this is a true story of a missionary, American missionary to India. Mark Buntain, Feeding India by God's Love. Mark Buntain was an American missionary who worked in India from 1954 to 1989. He is famous for taking care of the poor in Calcutta, India. He opened a free school for 200 children. His program fed 10,000 people every day, poor people with no food. After he died, his wife continues the work that they started together. But Mark never planned such a life. In 1954, he had a comfortable position in a church in America. He was asked to go to India to help at the church for just 1 year. Mark liked adventure, so he talked to his wife. He and she agreed to do it. They sold their car, packed their clothes, and carried their new baby onto the ship that was headed for Calcutta, India. After 3 months at sea, they came to a city unlike any they had seen. Tens of thousands of people crowded in the sidewalks and streets. Businessmen in clean suits climbed aboard rickshaws in a rush to meet clients. Women nursed their children on the side of the street. Families sat on carpets selling their goods, and children kept themselves busy with whatever metal, paper, or plastic trash they could find. Whether working, playing, eating, or sleeping, it all seemed to happen in the public sidewalks and roads. Most shocking were the thousands of families without work, homes, or proper food. Very thin, old men lay almost naked on concrete. Beside them were men and women whose bones you could see, showing they had not eaten much in months. And what of the children? There were children with eye problems or no eyes at all, and others with teeth coming out their nose. Many had cleft palates, making it difficult to eat or breathe. Babies shrieked from the pain of dysentery, and small children crawled with limited use of their broken, badly formed limbs. It seemed in Calcutta you either lived richly or barely stayed alive. Mark and Hulda spent those 365 days learning about the needs of the poor in Calcutta. They needed food, education, and medical help. The year ended, and the Buntains couldn't leave. A wild idea was working deep into their hearts. Perhaps God wanted them to do more for the poor of Calcutta. One night, with their heads on their pillows, as cows and car horns sounded faintly in the darkness outside their hot window, they decided to make Calcutta their home. Mark was a planner and his wife Hulda was a good business person. So they quickly created projects to help the poor. In 1964, the Buntains opened their first school for 200 children. A year later, they began a feeding program, starting with free school lunches of milk and parathas bread. Concerned for the sick and injured, they built a small medical clinic. And later, they created a hospital with many special fields of medicine. Mark Buntain was a loving man. He was known for his kind face, for his constant praying, and for crying tears whenever he thought about the needs of the poor. The love of God moved through this man, and many people were touched by his life. And so this is a true story about Mark Buntain and how he began. And I have seen things about him on video, and I have read a novel about his life. Very famous and very amazing man who shared his life with many people. Now, if you need, read this again. If it's interesting, I hope it is. You have this paper. The paper is Mark Buntain moving to India. Okay, Mark Buntain moving to India. I'm sorry, I didn't put it on there. It's going to say day 9. Day 9, Mark Buntain moving to India. Okay, now let's move to the second page. I want you to do this, and I want you to send this paper to me by Google Mail today. There were children with eye problems or no eyes at all. I want you to use the IPA and mark underlined vowels of these words. I will do the first one for you, okay? Okay, it seems that I cannot write on this PDF file, so you're gonna have to do the Word file, Microsoft Word file, okay? I want you to type it, just a minute, see if I can get that. Okay, I'm going to read the dictation now. Are you ready? Number 1, Mark Buntain was known for his kind face. Again, Mark Buntain was known for his kind face. Number 2, he often cried tears when he thought of the needs of the poor. Number 2, he often cried tears when he thought of the needs of the poor. Number 3, he was constantly praying. Number 3, he was constantly praying. Number 4, the love of God moved through this humble man. Number 4, the love of God moved through this humble man. Okay, I'm going to read 1, 2, 3, and 4 again. Number 1, Mark Buntain was known for his kind face. Number 2, he often cried tears when he thought of the needs of the poor. Number 3, he was constantly praying. Number 4, the love of God moved through this humble man. Okay, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed today's class. Please turn everything in, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.